Hi everybody. Going live. 30 church. 30 church. That was my old store. Isn't that silly? Oh my goodness. We are going live on Deanne Fitzpatrick's studio. I got mixed up there for a second. Didn't know where I was. So today I got lots for you today. We're going to talk about the difference between linen and the difference between burlap. That's one of the things we wanted to talk about today. I also want to mention, I want to finish a rug with you live today. And so this is live from Deanne Fitzpatrick's studio. And we're just waiting for everybody to come in. Hello, Joella from Calgary and Judith from Michigan. Mary Frances Hall, Avril Rue. Hi, Avril from Maine. Avril's been here for a course before. Hi, Andre from Ottawa. Jane Stone, Patricia Jansen. It's good to have you here. You can see that I changed the backdrop of my studio so that you could actually see some rugs, and we'll change these up once in a while. We won't be changing them all the time because I get comfort from being in familiar places. Carol Beaton's here from Benoit, and Liz Belbin from St. John's, I believe Liz is. And Janet Jubowski. Welcome, Janet. And Glenda Gallup. Hello. Everybody's coming in. So today I'm going to finish a rug. I'm going to talk about linen versus burlap. And I'm going to show you some new silks that we got in. Some new velvets. It's velvet with a little bit of silk in it. I'm going to talk about the challenge that we're doing on Wild with Wool. And someone asked me to talk a little bit about yarn organization. So maybe we'll start there. You can see behind me how I do my yarn organization. It is by color. And so we'll go into that a little bit closer. So we were just talking and we started these lives in March and we've done 4 a month. So I think we are at, well, we're over 20 anyway, and I'm still enjoying doing them. There's no reason to stop. I think it's going to be fun as we go into the winter and to keep doing these. So let's get started. I'm going to pass it over to Angela, and she's going to show you as I finish this rug. I'm doing the Fern Rug, so I'm going to pass it over to Angela. And you're going to flip the video and we're going to be looking at the Fern Rug. There we go. And you can take it off that pot or leave it on if you want. It's up to you. So, okay. So for the Fern Rug, I just have a little tiny bit left to do, and then we're going to do a reveal. So when I get to this point in a rug, what I like to do is I like to sort of just have a look around and see if there's any big bare spots, because sometimes you take it off and then you realize, hey, there's something, I forgot that piece. So I just have this little piece over here left to do, and I'm going to finish it up. And even this little piece, like, it would be pretty simple to say, let's just fill that in with gray now. And that's just not something I would do. Every part of your rug is important. Every little piece of your rug is important. Not just, not just the center. So I'm not going to just sort of fill it in. I'm going to still, with my backgrounds, I like to get very, I really like to mix my backgrounds because, what you see in the foreground, whatever's in the foreground is affected by that background, right? We talked about that when I first started this rug, which was just about 3 weeks ago now. I've been working on this rug. Kind of a long time for me to work on a rug this size. I often go a little bit quicker, but so I'm just hooking away here. Now, if you want to see me hooking lots, come to the webinar on December 5th. It's a live webinar. It's $49, and it's a 2-hour webinar, and I'll be hooking the whole time pretty much. I'm going to try and, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to complete the rug, but I'm going to start it and go to every part of it, and the webinar will be completely focused on me hooking, on my hooking and on hooking, and how to hook that particular rug, and I'll be teaching you how to do it. So I've added the purple, I've added the blue. This is a weird combination that I have in this background. I think I'll just take this little pink back here. And so, I'm just thinking like as if I have a paintbrush in my hand and what I can do with the colors. So, you know, I'm not going to just use it all because I have it in my hand. I'm trying to get a feeling. Here we go. Oh, I got a nice little bit of mauve here. I'm going to pop that in. And I don't think I use this color anywhere else in the rug, but in this little corner, okay? That's a good tip. Just my earring is clicking on the, I'm going to move it. It's clicking on the speaker. There we go. Change that up. You know what I think I'll do is I think I'll just grab a little tiny bit of velvet. So I'm going to show you some velvets later. So right up here in this corner, it would be really easy to just say, okay, you know, we'll just use whatever we have. But I'm just going to put...
So we have people here from all over North America.
Yeah.
We have someone from Bermuda.
Oh, wow.
Norway. Romania.
Romania?
Romania.
And Norway. They might be your cousin, Angela.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Vorden Hardu Day, Håkon. That's the only thing I know.
What does that mean?
That means, how are you today?
Okay, that's the only... Yeah, I'm going to add a little tiny bit of blue right here. So I'm kind of anxious to see what this rug will actually look like. I'm very curious at this point. I'm going to bring this... You know, I really like hooking with this kind of yarn. It's a worsted weight. So this is a lichen and lace, essentially, yarn. And but you know, you get the same effect with Cascade. It's a knitting yarn. And just look at it here. I usually do two, but see how that effect is so different from this effect? And that is something to me that is really important in my hooking. You know, that change in texture. So I'm not going to put it over here. I'm just going to come here, finish it up there. How many people are visiting us today, Angela?
We have 253 so far.
Wonderful. That's great. 253. That is great. Nice community of people. I've got to decide now, that last stitch. Oh, there's a little tiny bit of sari. I'll use that. I'm getting down now because I'm at the end of my... So that top corner, to me, is just as important as every other stitch that I put in here. And you know, you get in a flow and you're not thinking maybe about every stitch. You're thinking about whatever's going on in your heart and your head. So let's clip this rug now. Let's do some clipping before we... I'm going to move this over to my bin of bits and pieces, which I keep over here. I'll move that. And so now, a good way to clip is, if you're using a shetty camp, is to roll your rug. And then when you roll your rug, you can clip the edges like that. So I'm just giving it a little clip. Oh, see, in the clipping and taking that few extra minutes, I found a spot. So I need to fill that in. Get back here. I'll fill that in with a little gray. You know, when you're really hooking rugs, to me, it's not much different than painting. Oh, and I found another spot over here. I'm gonna tuck in the gray there, it'll work. Did everybody have a good day off yesterday? Was it a holiday in the States too yesterday? Or was it just a holiday? In Canada, it was Remembrance Day, which I think is similar to your Memorial Day in the States. So we all take a day, and everything is closed here. All the stores are closed, and it's a good day. I think it's a day that people take the time out to appreciate people who serve them, and to appreciate our police and our forces and our firemen, people who spend so much of their life in service to others.
What kind of scissors are those, Deanne?
These are our $14.95 scissors. Basically, there's two different kinds. They're like this or like that, and they're exactly the same. And I have them too. I find them all interchangeable. They're the Infinity scissors. They just change their look a little bit, but they're all great. So I'm just gonna have a look at this now. So let's have a look and see what the rug, I'm just doing a little bit more clipping. So this rug is hooked on linen. Our kits, and for many years, I just hooked on burlap. For many years, I preferred burlap. Now I have finally found a linen that is almost exactly, it looks like burlap, except for it doesn't feel like burlap, and it's more durable. But I want to talk to you about the difference between linen and burlap. So it's kind of a interesting question whether or not you want to use linen or burlap. It's not just about durability, though we will talk about that. So before we go into that, let's look at this rug and see what we got. So I like to unroll it, and then I like to see it from the back side. I like to have a look at that. And then I want to go out here and I want to look at the other ferns rug that we have. It's right here. So I've been working on a theme, and the ferns have been a big part of my summer. And I love baskets of ferns. When you see baskets of ferns hanging off people's verandas and stuff, I just find it really beautiful. So when I looked at this rug, and then I looked at this red rug in the square over here, I kind of thought, well, wouldn't it be interesting to have ferns in a square and just nothing else but ferns? So, you know, design evolves in that way. So now I have to get my old yellow handle scissors. These scissors are $4.95 a pair, and they're excellent if you're cutting burlap. They're excellent for cutting wool too, but I don't like to use my good scissors for my burlap because it dulls them. Okay, let's have a look again. Oh, it's gonna be nice. Yeah, all right, let's take it off and let's have a good gander at this rug. So you guys tell me what you think. I'll hold it up for you first. There we go.
Oh, wow.
Is it good? Yeah, looking good. So I think it can turn any direction. Now you've seen it before me. So the idea with this rug was having those really intense outlines. Oh, it's awesome. Yeah, I like it. Oh, I want to frame it, I think. I feel like, yeah, no, I do like it. I like it a lot.
I think it should go on your mantle. Now that you sold the other one.
I know, we sold the other rug. We'll put that on the mantle for a while.
It's beautiful.
Got to get it done. Get her all bound up. Sometimes I send them out to Brenda, who used to work with me, and she binds them for me. So that's what we're doing today. Finishing that rug. I love, love, love the background. I love the background. I'm really happy with that. So sometimes you learn different things in a rug. Like right now, it feels like I learned more about hooking background than I did about hooking ferns in this rug. There's about 7 colors in the background, and I love the blue, you know, the turquoise and the blue in there, and I love the taupe in there. It's very different than I imagined. And of course, a rug looks a lot better when you finish clipping and pressing it. It's a really, really big part of finishing your rug. So if you just see your rug like this, it's like 4 steps away from being as beautiful as it can be. So if you have rugs rolled up, why don't you bring them out and finish them with me when you're watching this? I think that'd be great. Like, bring them out and hand sew the bindings on. I'm going to get a piece of linen and a piece of burlap, and we're going to talk about the differences. So, right here I have a piece of burlap, and I have a pattern drawn on it, and it's Fresh Sheets. That's a pattern that we have on our website, and I've always liked it, and I thought that I might hook it at some point. And then I have a piece of linen right here. So, what's the difference? Well, two things. Burlap is really affected by water, so when burlap gets wet, it rots. So if you're putting a rug on the floor, you really want to make sure that it's linen, because a rug on the floor can have something spilled on it. But it's kind of a philosophical question, too. And when I say that, one woman called me once and I said, I was explaining it to her, and I said, well, do you want it to outlast you, the piece? And she said, no, I don't think so. I'm just a beginner. I'm just starting. And I said, well, then burlap's probably fine. There are rugs around that are hooked on burlap that are over 100 years old. You don't really need, everything doesn't need to be hooked on linen. Personally, I feel like some rugs that I've hooked that I haven't been happy with, it's almost better if they're hooked on burlap, because they'll get worn out. And like, I threw a rug out the other day that was on the floor of my house for years and years and years and years. And I thought, and then I had it rolled up in my barn, and then I got rid of it, and it was hooked on burlap. It was still in excellent condition. It was 30 years old, but it was finished. Like, I was finished with it. I didn't want anyone else to have it. It was my art. I didn't want that to be out there representing me. Sometimes, personally, I feel like sometimes my work is not that great at times. And I don't really need to think that it's going to last for generations. Do you know what I mean? So that's the kind of philosophical question that you could ask yourself is, does it need to outlast me? Is this an heirloom? So if it is an heirloom, then you probably do want to hook it on linen. If it isn't, burlap's great. Burlap's great for small pieces. It's great for decorative pieces. It's great for beginners. It's great for teaching. It is traditional. It's what our mothers and our grandmothers and our great-grandmothers hooked upon. And there's not a thing wrong with it. Now, there's another question. Maybe I've heard people say, I don't like the smell of burlap. I don't like the feel of burlap. I love the smell of burlap. I love the feel of burlap. So I love working with it. It doesn't bother me a bit. Linen, I like the smell and I like the feel. So that's important. But if you like the smell and feel of one over the other, then that's the one that you should be using. So that is my take on it. There are other takes on it, and many of you already have your opinions formed on it. Some people like to work on monk's cloth or rug warp. I find rug warp too firm, and I find monk's cloth too stretchy. So if you prefer to work on those, then that's understandable. Everybody has their preferences. So this is my story with linen and burlap. I will probably hook this little design here. When I hook it, the Fresh Sheets, I'll probably hook that on burlap. But when I make a one-of-a-kind piece of art and I'm going to sell it for, a good price, then I just feel like I'm probably going to hook it on burlap. Hook it on linen, excuse me. So, and I also just really like the linen that I'm using now. It's a primitive linen. You can see how you might not know the difference between these two things if they kind of look a lot alike. So now the next lesson today, and that's it for the lessons today. We must be getting there, are we, Angela? We're 20 minutes in, I think. It's my guess.
I can't see. Yeah, roughly.
Okay, so the next lesson is, how do you organize your wool? Well, the first thing you need to do is you need to be able to see your wool. This is how I organize my wool. I like it, like I put my yarns together by color and my cloths together by color. And I don't like too much wool in bins. I don't think there's any point of it. If it's in a bin or in a bag underneath the cupboard, I don't know I have it, right? So I like to have mine really well organized. And sometimes, now I say really well organized, a lot of people wouldn't call that really well organized. Some of you are tidier and you would like it neater and stuff. That's fine. And then so I have these bins. I used to have these stacked up, but I found it's easier just to pull them out, because when I would stack them up and when I pulled out one, they would all flop out on me. It used to drive me crazy. And so I do it by color, but I'll also, like the golds, I'll throw some orange in with the golds, or there might be some teals in with the blues. So it's kind of my understanding of what the color is. Like these are all soft blues, but there's also light turquoises. These are deep purples, but there's also mauves. And these are tans, but there's also grays. There's grays over here. And really the tan should be over here probably, if I was doing it correctly. But things do get mixed up. So I think it's really important to have your wool out and accessible and be able to see it and be able to touch it and feel it. And I don't like all my wool cut up in little bags. I like to see the cloth and what it looks like, because then I kind of know what I can do with it. So that's someone emailed me this morning and asked how I organize my wool. So that's probably about it for this week. We've got some new, the Wild with Wool Challenge. I want to tell you about that. The Wild with Wool Challenge starts it started already, and we just want you to do any size piece that you want, like 6x6, 8x8, 12x14, doesn't matter. And it's your interpretation of what wild is when it's hooking. So just hook anything you want, post it. The piece with the most comments on it, and I think we've had a couple of pieces posted already, but the piece with the most comments on it in our feed will send you a prize. So it's just a little challenge for the next couple of months. And today, I just wanted to let you know that our velvet packs are back in stock. So our velvet is there, and you can get the complete package, and this is what the velvet is like. I'm just going to show you. You get 3 yards of velvet. So I'll open one here. I'll open this red. So you get 3 yards of velvet coming on a card like that. Woo! So there's quite a bit of velvet. And then when you use the velvet, what you'll do is you'll cut about an 8-inch piece. I'll just use my yellow scissors for now. You'll wrap it. Take that tape off. Wrap it around your hands. And velvet adds a beautiful texture to your hooked rug. So I'll show you where I use the velvet in here. If you want to, it's better if you can keep it even. So we had 20 of these before, and we ran out really quickly. So it is back on the website if you want some. And so there's your strip that you'll hook, okay? And you can get it's 3 inches, so you can get at least 6, maybe 7 strips from each little piece. So it goes quite a long ways. So now let's see what the velvet looks like in this rug, just to give you an idea. Over here, I use the velvet right over here. And so there it is in the rug. You can see it right there. Right there. So that's the velvet. There's also sari silk in this rug too, in this background, right here. And then there's just good old Briggs and Little Gray. And then there is one of our studio hand dyed, like mussel shell or something. Yeah, and this green here is Woody Moss from our Briggs and Little collection. This is, I think it's called Field from our, or it might be called Moss from our, what's that one? It's called, do you remember what that one's called? It's a Briggs and, we had Richfield in it, and this one is called Moss. I'm so sorry, you guys. Anyway, what was that called?
I don't remember either.
I forget. Anyway, so that's it for today. That's all I got to teach you for today. If you want to see lots of hooking, we're going to do the webinar. I've got the piece framed. I could run out and get it if you want, so they can see it framed. Do you want me to, Angela?
Sure, if you
run
want.
out. Okay, come on with me, and I'll see if I can find it. We can show them some stuff along the way. Just got this gorgeous color in right here. the Eco Cloud. I like that yarn a lot. It's like almost like crocheted. Maybe show them that rug. It's sort of interesting. I love that one. I'll go get. Goodness. Okay. What am I doing here? It's me. One that.
So do you guys think that we should put the new fern rug above the mantle? Because the one that was there has sold. So I think the fern rug.
It's a lonely spot now, isn't it?
Yeah, I think the new fern rug would look amazing.
Think so?
Yeah.
What's everybody? What do they all think? Tell us. I read every comment. I do. I take my time. So, here's what we're doing for the webinar. And so I got it framed, and I think it looks, I don't know, they come right to life when you frame them. I really like it. So I got that. And I just wanted to show you this. This is our Create Beauty Every Day manifesto that we've put on a magnet. And we're slipping these into all your orders right now. Are they going in every order right now, Angela?
I believe so.
I believe so too. And it says, and it's just a hand hooking, and it says my studio at the bottom, but it says, I will use my hands, my heart, and my mind to create. I see beauty in others, to see beauty in others and in the world around me, because beauty matters and it always will. So I have one last thing to tell you, and this is the thing that you can do for me every week. You can share this video. And why do we share about rug hooking? Because rug hooking is more than, making a little kit. It's a craft that has endured for generations. It's a craft that's one of the few crafts that's thought to be indigenous to North America. It is a beautiful craft, and when you do it, you become more meditative, more thoughtful. You have time with yourself, time to think, time to be, time to enjoy life, and we want to share that gift with other people. We want to teach people how to hook rugs. There's a surprise on the website that some of you have found and some of you haven't. Do you know what that is, Angela? But one of our courses has gone free. One of our online courses has gone free. So you should look. I'm not going to tell you which one it is because you should go peek. And one of our little online courses we've decided to offer for free. See you later. And join the newsletter. Share the video. Teach someone how to hook a rug. Share it. It's a beautiful thing. Anyway. Bye.